From the North Carolina Motor Speedway at Rockingham, this is the Warner Hodgdon American 500. A presentation of SETN, the Special Events Television Network. Hello, everyone. Benny, the key to winning this race, first off, is surviving it.
It really is. Over the past few races here at Rockingham, the racetrack has been very hard on equipment and drivers. The groove is narrow. So it is going to be tough to finish the race. And two drivers that really is going to have a problem today is Terry Labonte and Harry Gant, both in quest of their first Winston Cup championship. Rockingham could really play havoc with their plans.
And right behind them in the point standings, fellows like Bill Elliott and Darrell Waltrip, who don't feel they're out of the chase for the Winston Cup, and incidentally have won the last two races on the tour.
That's exactly right, and particularly at a place like Rockingham, because they feel like that Harry or Terry could easily have trouble here and get them right back in the championship, mate.
Waltrip particularly, who won the last race last week at North Wilkesboro, thinks he still has a good shot at the title. We'll meet him now with Dick Berggren. We got any chicken in here?
Darrell, it's a long race. How does it affect your stamina? You know, for the first time in a number of years, it's going to be relatively hot here. It's going to be in the 80s, looks like, and it's going to be a sunny day. We haven't had to contend with that here for a long time. Last Sunday at Wilkesboro was hot, so I guess we're ready for it. 500 miles here or 5 hours, whichever comes first, is usually the norm, and that takes its toll on the driver. So I don't believe you'll see any driver substitutions in the race, but you may.
Let's take a look at the starting lineup for today's Hodgdon American 500.
And Mike, don't forget that starting up front at Rockingham is very, very important.
The front row qualified at 144 miles per hour. Jeff Bodine, the Northwestern Security Life Chevrolet from Chemung, New York. And Dawsonville, Georgia's Bill Elliott in the Coors Melling Ford.
Starting third will be Darrell Waltrip from Franklin, Tennessee in the Budweiser Chevrolet. Alongside him, Terry Labonte from Corpus Christi, Texas in the Piedmont Airlines Chevrolet.
Harry Gant in the Skoal Bandit from Taylorsville starts fifth alongside Dale Earnhardt from Kannapolis in the Wrangler car, both Chevrolets.
Starting seventh will be Lake Speed from Jackson, Mississippi in the Bullfrog Niche Chevrolet. Then comes Neil Bonnet, Bessemer, Alabama in the Budweiser Chevrolet.
Going ninth, Ron Bouchard of Fitchburg, Massachusetts, the Race Hill Farms entry. And 10th, Bobby Allison, Hueytown, Alabama, the Miller High Life car. They're both Buicks.
In 11th will be Dick Brooks, Porterville, California in a Ford, the Chameleon Sunglasses Ford. And alongside him, Richard Petty, Randleman, North Carolina, the STP Pontiac.
Row 7, Greg Sachs in a Chevrolet, Rusty Wallace in a Pontiac. Buddy Baker's Ford and Dave Marcus Pontiac, row 8.
Then comes Bobby Helen Jr. from Texas and Morgan Shepherd in a Chevrolet. Lenny Pond from Virginia in an Oldsmobile, and then Kyle Petty's Ford.
Ricky Rudd's Ford in row number 11, along with Tim Richmond's Pontiac. A Chevrolet for Joe Ruttman and a Pontiac for Janie McDuffie, row 12.
From North Carolina comes Jimmy Means. Then Buddy Boyce down in South Carolina, Dale Jarrett from North Carolina, and Clark Dwyer from Colorado.
In row number 15, Jerry Bowman's Ford from Maryland. Trevor Boy's Chevrolet from Calgary, Canada. Buddy Arrington's Dodge from Virginia, and Bobby Wawak's Buick from Midland, North Carolina.
Then's Jeff Hooker in a Pontiac from Ohio. Jim Ingalls in a Chevrolet from North Carolina. Joe Milliken's Ford, he's from North Carolina, and Bobby Fox all the way from Washington.
Dick May's Ford's out of Watertown, New York. Mark Stalls is from California. Terry Schoonover's Chevrolet from Florida, and Mike Potter's Ford from Tennessee. Lights are out atop the Pontiac safety car. It will head for pit road, and the field will address itself to the starting line. Jeff Bodine's Chevrolet inside of Bill Elliott's Ford to come down for the start in the first of 500 miles here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway.
That first corner is very, very exciting, Mike, on these beginning of these races. You know, it seems like there isn't enough room when you go down in turn 1.
40 cars will try to jam their way into it as the field comes up out of turn 4. Pace car dives onto pit road, and Wayne Robertson drops the green flag on the Hodgdon American 500. Jeff Bodine will lead the drag race into turn number 1. Bill Elliott is right with him. Here comes Bodine up off the corner in turn number 2, keeping it way low on the racetrack till he gets to the straightaway.
Harry Gant did not get a good start, Mike. I don't know, just did not get a good start. He's falling back to about 5th place or 6th right now.
Out of turn 4, Bodine will lead the first lap. Elliott in the Ford is 2nd. Waltrip is 3rd. Labonte is 4th. Dale Earnhardt is 5th. Back straightaway, lap 2. And the front 4 cars begin to break away from the field.
I don't think that's going to last very long. I just somehow think the rest of those guys are going to catch up. We're going to see a freight train here in a little bit, Mike.
3 Chevrolets and 1 Ford out in front of the pack at Rockingham, North Carolina. That low groove is getting a workout these opening laps.
It really is, Mike. That's the only place to be right now. Now Harry Gant's coming back. He's alongside Dale Earnhardt going in turn 3.
Harry Gant will move up and take over the 5th position as the leaders come off turn number 4. Here's Labonte at the top of your screen, making a bid for the 3rd spot on the inside of Waltrip.
And Waltrip's just going to give way, going to give him the position, because right now you do not want to be outside that dark area because it could be slippery up there.
Bodine the leader. Elliott in 2nd. Labonte is 3rd. Waltrip is 4th. Harry Gant's taking the 5th spot from Earnhardt. Out of turn 4, back to the start-finish line, and through the dogleg portion of the race course. This front straightaway is anything but straight.
But it's really not a problem, Mike. It is a dog leg, but it does not present a problem. As a matter of fact, it's a very good straightaway for the driver.
Elliott is now pulled up right on the deck lid of Bodine's Chevrolet. Back to turn 3. They've got a little bit of breathing room on Labonte, and really open it up over Waltrip and Gant.
Bill Elliott's going to try him on the inside.
Here comes Elliott for the lead. Bill Elliott to the inside, and no, he doesn't get it. He gets shut off by Bodine.
With all the success that Bodine had yesterday, he may have visions of leading every lap here today, Mike.
Bodine won the Sportsman race by a car length over Ron Bouchard, as you saw at the top of the show. He's led every lap so far, despite what is now heavy pressure from Elliott.
And you saw him pass that slower car. Believe me, they're tiptoeing by those lap cars right now, Mike. That high group still, they're very cautious with it.
Bodine Chevrolet, Elliott's Ford. Out front, Labonte in a Chevrolet is right with them. Then Darrell Waltrip and Harry Gant. There's Waltrip right side of your screen, and Gant. It's now a 5-car breakaway for the lead. Let's go down to pit road where Dick Berggren is standing by.
Yesterday in the Sportsman race here at Rockingham Speedway, Bobby Allison was involved in a grinding crash. Weeks earlier, he had broken his shoulder blade. This morning, he doesn't feel well. But there's a young man sitting in his pits, helmet in hand, ready to take over, young son Davey. Davey, have you ever driven a Grand National at all?
I've driven it some in practice before, and the car is really a good car. If I have to get in for him, then I think I can do a good job for him.
If he has to get out during the day, will you in fact be the designated driver?
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know for sure. I'm just standing by just in case.
Earlier in the day, Gary Nelson, crew chief, said he hoped Bobby could make 100 laps. If not, no other driver will have dropped out, almost certainly, and this young man would be tapped to fill his father's shoes in his first ever Grand National race.
Allison was originally injured in mid-September at Dover, Delaware, where he broke his shoulder blade. Now, he did drive the full race at Charlotte. He'll hope to go the day here. A lot of smoke out of Jimmy Means' car. Looks like rear end, maybe, Benny?
I know, it looks like maybe a valve cover gasket because the car's still going at a good rate of speed.
Broadway Motors Pontiac out of Forest City, North Carolina, has leader Jeff Bodine in the number 5 car, lapped by Dick May. Here's Means coming onto pit road. Certainly an unscheduled pit stop, and that's never a good sign when they go under the hood.
When they raise that hood, you might as well say goodbye.
Kyle Petty has been in and out of the pits as the leaders put a lap on him, and now to challenge Bodine, it is the 44 of Terry Labonte, who wins the Cup point leader. Waltrip is right with Labonte, and Elliott has slipped back to the 4th spot.
Boy, that's close racing, Mike. Labonte is really getting off that turn very, very well.
For a fellow who has a lead of less than 100 points in the chase for the Winston Cup, nobody can accuse Labonte of being a stroker and chasing points.
Oh, Mike, I'm really impressed with the way Terry Labonte has been running so far, because he really should be sitting there just protecting his point lead, but yet he's out trying to win the race and lead every lap.
Yesterday's Sportsman race was run under sunny, 80-degree cloudless skies, but coming in from the south and west, looks like a tremendous thunderstorm. We may be racing the rain here, as well as the other cars on the racetrack. Jeff Bodine, the leader, the red and white number 5 Chevrolet, owned by Charlotte car dealer Rick Hendrick, and wrenched by Master Crew Chief Harry Hyde.
That yellow and white car we see coming into play is the Ron Bouchard car. He got alongside Bill Elliott on the front straightaway, but wasn't able to get the spot.
Bouchard has moved up to 5th from his 9th starting position. Bouchard, like Bodine, the leader, cut his teeth on the NASCAR modified circuits in the north and came south to the big league of stock car racing. Jeff Bodine has led every lap, but now caution is out as the oil from Jimmy Means' car dumped on the racetrack has brought out the caution flag.
And fortunately, Mike, the cars were slowed down because it is beginning to rain. As you can see, the people heading for cover.
The rain is not coming down, it's coming across, and the place is soaked. There's Terry Labonte huddled with Wayne King of the Piedmont Airlines team. Let's see where Dick Berggren is keeping high and dry.
Neil, there's been a lot of water on the racetrack. How will that affect the racing surface?
Well, I hope it doesn't affect it very much personally. My car was working exceptionally well before the rain, but this particular track is as steep as it's banked and everything. The water runs off pretty fast. It cleans the thing back off, and if anything, I feel like the track's going to be a little bit tighter and a little bit faster after the rain. So the guys that were running good at the first race should be the same cars that are back up there leading the race. So I don't think it's going to do anything but make the race a little faster.
Neil looks like he got pretty drenched getting out of his race car and to cover. Let's go back to Dick Berggren with Buddy Baker.
What kind of effect will the rain have on the speedway, Buddy?
Well, it washed off all the rubber that was deposited down on the racetrack. It ought to be real fast and I think very competitive, you know, but the biggest problem we have here is lap cars, and whether the sun's out or whether it's raining or what, it's a one-groove racetrack right now, and when you come up on them and try to go by, you just really don't know whether you're going to make a lap or not. And I think right now we've got a bigger gap between first and last as far as speed-wise than any race we've run all year. So it's beginning to aggravate a lot of people. I've heard a lot of drivers talking about, you know, it's hard to get in the corner without getting wrecked and hard getting off the corner without somebody running you into the wall. So there's going to be a lot of cautions today.
Somewhere at the end of that rainbow is the $150,000 that awaits the Winston Cup champion.
And, Mike, that championship could be decided today because it's clearing up and we're going back racing.
There on the right side of the roof is NASCAR's weather radar. They use that to track incoming storm activity. But right now they say there's a clear patch of weather and we can get back to racing. Hello, Camera One. Most of the fans and all of the racetrack have gotten dried off now. Except maybe that guy.
His favorite driver must not be doing too well today, Mike.
The unknown race fan. After a few laps under caution, the pace car will head for pit road. Bobby Allison and Dave Marcus did not make pit stops, so they'll lead Jeff Bodine, Tim Richmond, Dick Brooks, Harry Gant, and Morgan Shepherd down to the green flag for the restart. Allison driving hurt after that crash yesterday, and a check with NASCAR Winston Cup director Dick Beatty indicates that his son Davey is not eligible to relief drive for him since Davey is a rookie on the NASCAR circuit.
That's probably a good idea, Mike, because a rookie under this pressure-packed situation I don't think would be a good idea.
The two leaders make it 3 wide in the backstretch around Trevor Boyd's lapped car, but Allison will lead the race out of turn number 4. His Miller High Life Buick has the lead. The Raymock Racing Engines Pontiac of Dave Marcus rides second, and Marcus wants the front spot.
He's got it. He's alongside Bobby. He's got the spot.
Bobby Allison gets rooted up out of the low groove. Here is Bodine on the right side of your screen, fighting for and squeezing into second spot.
Oh, that was close.
Allison is third, Richmond is fourth, Brooks is fifth, then Gant, Shepherd, Ron Bouchard, and Ricky Rudd.
One of the best runs we've seen in a long time for Dick Brooks. Here in the spring, in March, Dick Brooks almost won the race, and today the car seems to be running equally as strong.
Brooks is in 5th spot, the Chameleon Sunglasses Ford. Here's Richmond dropping out of line, going after Allison's 3rd position, and he'll take it away. And Benny, virtually all the passing we've seen has been on the inside.
Oh, you have to pass on the inside, particularly at this point in the race. As the race wears on, the last 100 miles, we can see passing on the outside, but not the first couple 100 miles.
Dave Marcus, veteran driver from Wausau, Wisconsin. Very aggressive driver in a very capable car, is at the front of the field. Jeff Bodine is 2nd, Tim Richmond, and Dick Brooks.
We saw Morgan Shepherd pull inside Bobby Allison on the back straightaway. Bobby's probably really hurting from yesterday's accident.
Battle for the lead. Bodine goes to the inside and wants the front spot back from Marcus. And this time it's Marcus that's forced to give way as he gets moved up to the high groove. With the rainstorm, what has that really done to the track surface?
As the drivers mentioned a moment ago, it's washed the oil off there, and the cars are sticking very tightly to the surface right now, and the racetrack is very, very fast.
A Chevrolet leads 2 Pontiacs, a Chevrolet and a Ford. It is now Tim Richmond's turn to challenge Marcus. This is for 2nd spot. Not a lot of racing room at the bottom of the track, and Harry Gant is going to try to come up and cover that low groove before Marcus can cut back inside.
I tell you what, I guess in the race cars it looks like we got room, but from where we're looking, it just doesn't look like there's room to do those things.
Harry Gant will move up to take the 3rd spot behind Richmond. Dick Brooks will take 4th. A Waddell Wilson Ford engine underneath the hood of Brooks' car, accounting for, in part, for his fine run here today.
Engine down the front straightaway, Mike.
Jeff Hooker has let one go big time as he rolls down to the track apron. A lot of smoke from beneath that car. We're back under the caution flag. Bobby Allison dives onto pit road for service from the Dygaard crew. He will have to wait until a qualified driver drops out of this race before he can get any relief if he so chooses. After this latest round of pit stops under the caution, Harry Gant in the Skoal-Bandit Chevrolet, number 33, is the leader. Right behind him, Richard Petty's STP Pontiac, the Piedmont Airlines Chevrolet of Terry Labonte, then Ron Bouchard, Dick Brooks, Bobby Allison. They're set for the restart, and Green is out once again. Down on the inside comes Lake Speed. He is 1 or more laps down, trying to get a lap back from Harry Gant.
It's very important. He's got a good shot now, Mike, to get that lap back. He really needs to go for it, and he is. You know, those cars haven't been going through that 1st and 2nd turn side by side, but he and Harry Gant side by side.
There's the 3rd, 4th, and 5th place cars. 2nd and the leader, Gant on the outside, working Lake Speed's lapped automobile.
Lake's hanging in there. They went through 3 and 4 side by side that time. So the racetrack must be getting a lot better shape than it was.
Harry Gant gets a good jump off the corner, though, and holds Speed at bay, 1 or more laps behind. Lake Speed, former world go-kart champion, before he took up Winston Cup stock car racing.
Richard Petty started to make a move, Mike. He runs this racetrack extremely well. He's up in 2nd place right now.
Battle for 3rd spot. Ron Bouchard, the yellow and white 47 car, moves underneath Terry Labonte, and Bouchard will move up into 3rd. Labonte's back in 4th. Brooks is 5th. Allison is 6th. Then Waltrip and Bodine. Smoke from Greg Sachs' car, the rookie driver from Mattatuck, Long Island.
Caution flag is out, Mike.
Sachs having an apparent engine failure. And Buddy Boys has spun in the oil, compounding the caution flag situation. And this will be the 5th caution flag of the day.
Darrell Waltrip in the pits right now. They'll probably change 4 tires on the caution flag. Every time these cars get a slow down period, they'll go in the pits and change 4 tires if possible.
Kyle Petty cuts low on the racetrack around the safety car. And looks like Kyle is headed for the garage area as Lake Speed makes his pit stop. His car owner, Hoss Ellington, thinks he's got a good shot at the Goodies Headache Award last week. Hoss says, last week I lost my sponsor. This week I lost my driver for next season. And 3 days ago, the laundry with all my crew uniforms burned down.
The crowd's on its feet. We're going to see a green flag.
Green is waving. Harry Gant and Ron Bouchard bring the field down toward turn number 1. Petty is in the 4th spot behind
trouble,
Labonte.
Mike. Trouble in turn 1.
One car, Dick Brooks is around. Baker is in it. Bonnet, Bodine, Richmond.
On the restart, Mike, when all the cars were bumper to bumper, they just no place to go. Bobby Hillen's spinning around.
And Jerry Bowman up in turn 2. Here is Tim Richmond limping back around toward Pit Road. A lot of tire smoke. Let's look at it again.
Dick Brooks is the first car that I see sideways. Then Buddy Baker now in the 21 car is turning the car sideways. He goes up, tags Neil Bonnet. Neil Bonnet goes almost head-on in the wall. And on the bottom of the racetrack, these other cars, Joe Ruttman is spinning around. And now the smoke is so bad that these other cars coming into the wreck, bumper to bumper, really can't, they have no visibility. They don't know what's going on.
Bodine and Richmond are in it up on the high side of the racetrack. There's Richmond's car up scraping the wall, while 4 or more drivers take evasive action. And the pit crews will get to do some hammer work straightening this one out.
It's going to take more than hammers. It's going to take cutters and torches and everything. There's lots of sheet metal damage.
Hard to tell how this one starts.
Well, it looks like that Baker, Brooks, and Bonnet somehow get together. I guess the slower car, the Mark Stahl car on the inside, has made them move up the racetrack, and that starts the accident. And poor Bonnet just goes head-on in the wall. Looks like he's got considerable damage.
Bodine tries to squeeze through. No luck. Ruttman spins to avoid. Richmond comes slamming in there through the smoke. And as they slide down the banking, there are 6 cars involved in it. Coming out of this caution period, Harry Gant leads Ron Bouchard, Terry Labonte, and Richard Petty down to the restart green flag. This time, let's see if they can get through turn 1.
Ricky Rudd was trying to get his lap back that time. He was on the inside. Harry Gant got a very good jump on the restart and got out ahead of him.
Gant seems to have one of those sunny day cars that we see every once in a while. When the sun's out, he works really well. When the track clouds up, he kind of fades back in the field a bit.
Ron Bouchard's giving Harry all he can stand right now. Ron had an idea. He's on the inside of Harry Gant going in turn 1.
Bouchard wants the lead. He's not won on this circuit since 1981, his rookie season, and would like to put 1 win in the record books for car owner Jack Beebe before the season's end. And he only has 3 races left to do it.
He is right on Harry Gant's bumper. He really wants this lead badly.
And Gant doesn't look like he's working down at the bottom of the racetrack.
No, he was moving up that time, Mike. Bouchard's inside of him. I think he's going to take him this time.
Ron Bouchard has some racing room down at the bottom, and he slips past Gant. So Bouchard, the Massachusetts driver, out in front of this race for the first time today. Harry Gant is second. Terry Labonte is third. Richard Petty has the 4th spot.
We talked about Harry Gant, Terry Labonte in the earlier part of the show, how he was running so hard with the point battle the way it is. Harry Gant has been running super strong all day long in that Skull Bandit, and he's second place, just 60 points behind Terry Labonte. He needs to be out there. Trouble.
On its roof, Jerry Bowman's Ford. Lake Speed spins around coming down the backstretch, and he pounds into the wall and slides, just misses Bowman's car. Jerry Bowman, the slight young driver from Aberdeen, Maryland, has put that thing on its head coming down the back straightaway.
And he looked like he was the only car in the accident. I really can't imagine what happened. He's crawling out, Mike. Looks okay.
He has turned turtle in that Ford and scampered out. He looks to be okay.
He's walking away, no problem.
Well, that attests to NASCAR safety rules. If a car can take a ride like that down the backstretch and the driver can climb out uninjured. Safety crews were on the scene quickly. And there it is. It's already over by the time we see it. It looked like it just got out of shape in turn 2 and just climbed up the retaining wall.
You know, as I mentioned when I took the people around the racetrack on that ride earlier, Mike, as you come off that second turn, if you get a little bit too high, it's like that wall reaches out and grabs you. And what happens is if that right front tire climbs up on the wall, it will literally just roll the car right over.
You saw a lot of cars out of shape in the middle of the pack there as they took evasive action, tried to get way up high on the racetrack out of harm's way. Just the 2 cars involved, Jerry Bowman and a still spinning Lake Speed.
He's lucky that Speed didn't back into him while he was sitting there on the roof.
Bobby Allison's on pit road once again, as are most of the leaders. There is Neil Bonnet walking around with a helmet on in Allison's pit.
He might be going to get in the car for Bobby. Since Davey can't drive and Neil has wrecked his car, he may substitute for Bobby Allison.
Try to get Jerry Bowman's car back on its wheels and towed back to the garage area. Bonnet is a protege of Allison. He grew up in Hueytown, Alabama, Allison's hometown. As we watch Richard Petty and Terry Labonte, who've made their pit stops under the caution flag. It's interesting that Bonnet and Allison are sponsored by rival beer companies, but I guess some of that gets put aside when your friend and neighbor and mentor needs a relief driver.
I think that right now friendship would overcome anything else in this situation, because I think Bobby Allison is probably the biggest reason that Neil Bonnet is involved in Grand National racing today.
Here is Allison again coming to pit road. He took on tires that last lap by. It might have been they did not want to make the driver change and the tire stop on the same pit stop and risk losing a lap.
Exactly. They are making a driver change. Bobby Allison's getting out and Neil Bonnet is going in. You're exactly right, Mike. They did not want to take a chance they'd lose a lap.
So they'll strap Bonnet into the car. He and Bobby are both about the same height. Neil's a little bit stockier, so he shouldn't have too much problem fitting into the seat of that car.
I think you'll be comfortable inside with the steering wheel in the right position, the pedals being in the right position. They must have stalled the engine while they were sitting there making that driver change, and they had to push the thing off to get it going again.
So Neil Bonnet is away, and there goes what's left of Jerry Bowman's Ford.
You know, really, that roof isn't buckled down hardly at all for the car turned over on top of its roof. Not very much damage.
No, that's safety roll cage required by NASCAR. And the construction of these cars, fellas like Banjo Matthews, Hutcherson Pagan, Richard Childress, Mike Laughlin, safety is really their #1 concern in building these race cars.
It really is. You know, Banjo Matthews makes a statement that no driver has ever been killed in one of his race cars, and and he really prides himself in that statement, and it's a good statement that he makes.
At the front of the pack, Dick Brooks, the Chameleon Sunglasses Ford, with a Waddell Wilson engine. Now, Waddell builds engines for Cale Yarborough, and they race Chevrolets. But next year, that team will switch to Ford. So Waddell's doing a little experimenting and loaning his engines to the Junie Donlevy team to see how they go. And looks like they're going pretty well.
Pretty doggone well. It looks like Dick Brooks might be a benefactor. Here we go to turn 1 situation again. And it looks like they're about 4 abreast back in the middle of the pack.
Hold your breath. Everybody gets through turn 1 without incident, and Brooks is the leader. Journeyman driver from Porterville, California, has one Grand National win to his credit at Talladega, Alabama. The world's fastest and most unpredictable speedway.
There's a 27 car, Tim Richmond. We saw him hit the fence a moment ago, and now he's back on the racetrack, and the car seems to be running as strong as ever.
Richmond duels with Brooks for the lead, thinks better of it as they go to turn 1. Up out of 2. Waltrip is the 3rd place car. Now that long back straightaway and into turn 3 once again. Waltrip is 3rd, Harry Gant is 4th, 5th is Richard Petty, 6th is Terry Labonte, 7th is Ron Bouchard, the 8th spot is Bill Elliott, and 9th is Dale Earnhardt.
Everybody's trying to face everybody. Richmond's trying to pass for the lead, Bouchard's trying to pass Labonte. Lots of racing going on right now. Very competitive race so far, Mike.
And it seems to be every time we get a restart, Benny, that the positions will jostle around for a couple laps, then they'll settle single file for a while.
They will, Mike, because there's still lots of racing left to go, and why abuse the equipment at this point in the race?
Things are settled pretty much single file among the first 4 positions. Richard Petty, though, is feeling a challenge for the 5th spot. Terry Labonte takes it away.
Harry Gant looked like he wanted to try to pass Darrell Waltrip on the outside in turn 1, Mike. That's the first time we've seen that today.
Dick Brooks is the leader. He's in a Ford. Then Tim Richmond's Pontiac and the Chevrolets of Waltrip, Gant, and Labonte, the Buick of Bouchard. Richmond really wants that lead.
And Harry Gant is going to the outside of Darrell Waltrip. He is going to pass him on the outside, or going to try.
Waltrip gets a good jump off the corner in the 11 car, but here is Gant on the outside, passing where nobody's made it stick today.
I'm surprised that he was able to get in that well in turn 3.
Gant comes off 4, back to start finish. He is alongside Waltrip. And Gant's green and white number 33 Chevrolet eases into the third spot.
He passed on the outside. The racetrack is getting right. We're going to see some real racing now.
Single file back straightaway. Dick Brooks pacing the field, driving for Ginny Donlevy out of Richmond, Virginia, who in 20 years of Grand National Racing has but one victory. It came at Dover, Delaware a couple years ago. Jody Ridley was the driver.
Tim Richmond is really getting through these turns, it looks like. He comes off the corner really well, and then about halfway down the straightaway, it just seems like it loses some momentum or something. It could be the aerodynamics from that front end that he damaged in that big accident a few laps ago.
Front three with about a 4-car length advantage on the next 4 cars as the pack has split into several groups. Back to turn 1.
Harry Gant's going to try to pass Tim Richmond on the outside.
Gant up high. And again, the sun is out. And as we mentioned before, Gant's car works well in the sunshine. It doesn't like the shade.
That's how sophisticated these stock cars are today. It makes a difference whether it's the sun is out or it's cloudy as to how your car needs to be adjusted.
Out of turn 4, back down the front straightaway. Dick Brooks leading Harry Gant, Tim Richmond, Darrell Waltrip, and Terry Labonte. Rounding out of turn 2. Oh, Richmond almost scrapes the wall.
What happened? That slow car, Tim Richmond was lapping him. He had to move up, and you got to be very careful exiting that second turn.
The track gets real narrow in a hurry when they get 2 and 3 cars wide.
Harry Gant's alongside Dick Brooks going in turn 1.
And Gant will get the lead as they go into turn number 1. Harry Gant puts the Burt Reynolds and Hal Needham Chevrolet back to the front of the field. Brooks Ford is relegated to second. And this is Jeff Bodine, whose car was involved in that 6-car pileup. Not much sheet metal left on the front of that car, but he's back out there trying to pick up Winston Cup points.
I wish we could have a before and after shot as the car set on the pole earlier in the day, and just how beautiful and shiny it looked, and just how bad it looks right now.
Well, there isn't much after to show.
What's Harry Gant going to do, run off and hide from him?
He's trying. Here is Bouchard now on the inside of Tim Richmond. And Bouchard, the yellow car on the right side of your screen, will take the third spot. So Gant is the leader as they come off the corner. Brooks is second. Bouchard is third. Tim Richmond is now back to the 4th spot.
It looks like that Ron Bouchard is one of the quickest car on the racetrack right now. He's been steadily moving up through traffic. It's very, very quick.
What would make a car handle better at one point in the race than another?
Well, there's a lot of factors, Mike. The weather is one, as we mentioned just a moment ago. And the crews are constantly changing the chassis throughout the day.
Lead cars lapping by Jeff Bodine's bent and battered race car. Not much front sheet metal there, but he's going pretty well.
It was going really well. I was impressed.
Harry Gant, all alone on your screen because he's trying to run away and hide from the field. And doing a pretty good job of it. Gant rounds off the corner, heads back for start-finish as rookie driver Rusty Wallace moves under Bodine. Dave Marcus, Buddy Baker right with him. And we'll be back to the North Carolina Motor Speedway after this. At the North Carolina Motor Speedway, Mike Joy with Benny Parsons, Dick Berggren, and the SETN broadcast team. Watching Ron Bouchard of Pittsburgh, Massachusetts, and Harry Gant try to run away from the field.
Doing a pretty good job of it right now. We notice that Ron Bouchard is really sticking on the bottom of the racetrack. Harry Gant, when he went in the turn, had to let the car drift up just a little bit. And that's one reason that Ron Bouchard now has the lead.
They'll lap by Joe Milliken out of Randleman, North Carolina. And they've got a sizable lead over the cars at the top of your screen. Terry Labonte, the 3rd place runner. There's Bouchard.
Smoke in front of him.
2 cars spinning up in turn 2, and the leaders will have to work the high side to get by.
Harry Gant passed Ron Bouchard while Ron was trying to slow down to miss the accident.
Terry Schoonover and Buddy Boys spin in the 2nd corner. And caution has not yet waved as the field comes around. There is Boys' car going behind the pit wall. And Gant will lead them around to pit road. We are under caution.
Now it's a race between the pit crews, and it's good that we have these kind of races because there is a certain amount of pride that these fellows have in their work and being known as the quickest on pit road. Right now, the SCO crew goes to work. And when Harry Gant goes back on the racetrack in front, his crew knows they did a good job. If he goes back in third or fourth place, those guys kind of hang their head down because they did not hold their end of the job up. Harry Gant's doing his job today. He's running hard. He's got the car up front. It's up to the crew to get him out in front.
If they can gain as much as one position getting off pit road, that can save Harry 20 or 30 laps battling a car on the racetrack.
There's some smoke up in the car up front.
That's Rusty Wallace. A lot of smoke from under the hood of his Gatorade Pontiac. Looks like feeding time at the zoo.
I don't know how it just looked like mad chaos while they're making all those pit stops on the caution flag, but somehow they figure out what's going on down there.
Here is Dick Brooks coming onto pit road, the race leader up until a few laps ago when Bouchard and Gant went past him. And they're going under the hood, little puff of smoke from out of one of the header pipes.
It looks like he has some problem. Like I said, there is some heavy smoke coming out from the car.
Looks a little more like steam, like water than it does oil smoke on Brooks' car.
It does. It looks like some steam coming out the exhaust pipe. Those exhaust pipes are about 1,000 degrees, so any water that hits it is going to instantly turn into steam.
Well, Brooks puffs his way away and down pit road.
Terry Labonte leads the pack down for the green flag. Harold Kinder's waving the green flag. We're back racing.
Labonte's crew, led by Dale Inman, got him off pit road first, ahead of Ron Bouchard, Harry Gant, Tim Richmond, and Darrell Waltrip. Back straight away, and the field begins to sort itself out. That's Labonte being challenged for the lead by Bouchard.
Bouchard takes the lead.
Made it look easy.
He did. That 47 car really doing a good job today. I'm sure Jack Beebe and all that crew is feeling very... And Labonte's trying him back down the front straightaway.
As we said earlier in the broadcast, nobody can accuse Labonte or Gant of point chasing. They're both out trying to win this race and let the points fall where they may.
I guess that's the... You can't be criticized for doing it that way, but, you know, $300,000, that's what the championship is worth. I don't know. I wonder about going as hard as they're going.
Bouchard leads the point standing leader, Labonte. The runner-up, Gant, is right there, and just another spot behind him is fourth place point man Waltrip, and third place point man Bill Elliott still on the lead lap. In fact, there is Elliott right side of the screen in that red Ford Thunderbird just going into the corner.
Elliott's chassis just hasn't been working. He started the outside pole in the first few laps. The car was very competitive, but he's been adjusting on all day, and you know, he probably will get the thing adjusted because a couple of weeks ago at Charlotte, he did that, and I was the guy that he got. He beat me the last half of the race and went on to win the race.
At the front of the field, Ron Bouchard is trying to win his first race of the season.
And that team really needs to win a race because there's an incentive program called the Winner's Circle, and Bouchard is not on that, and he really would like to get on it for 1985.
That pays appearance money to the 8 teams winning the most races and agreeing to run the full schedule. Your team was eligible for that and turned it down.
Well, we decided that a limited schedule is what we need to do, Mike. 14, 15, 16 races, but not the 30 races. We just are not ready for that kind of schedule at this time in our career.
Bouchard trying to hold off Labonte and Gant, who have their own private battle going for the season championship.
Gant doesn't seem to be displaying the dominance that he showed just a few laps ago. He was unbeatable 100 laps ago. Now he's back third place. It looked like he's struggling to be third place.
Bouchard the leader. A car owned by Connecticut businessman Jack Beebe, who up until this year kept the car up in Connecticut so he could go out and work on it with the crew nights. Now they've moved down near Charlotte, North Carolina, more towards the hub of stock car racing. Wayne Bumgardner, who worked on Bobby Allison's team for several years, is the crew chief. Mike Kennedy builds the motors.
I think that Jack would love to have that car in Connecticut where he could sit every day and go out and work on the car. But the traveling is a hard part because a lot of the races are being run in the Southeast, and it's a very difficult drive to come from Connecticut to the Southeast every weekend.
Bouchard still commutes from his home in Pittsburgh, Massachusetts. The race team, though, is now based in the Carolinas. It's Bouchard leading. The yellow and white, blue numeral 47 car of Buick. Labonte in second, the Piedmont Airlines Chevrolet. In third, the Skull Bandit Chevrolet of Harry Gant.
Mike, after an early excellent run by Dick Brooks, he's had to park the Chameleon Sunglasses Ford. We saw it smoking in the pits a moment ago, and I guess the problem was terminal.
Number of top cars out of this race already, as Bouchard's Buick leads the Chevrolets of Labonte and Harry Gant, and they've opened up quite a distance on the fourth place car, Tim Richmond.
Those three cars are extremely close. It's really I can't decide which car is the fastest. It just varies from one pit stop to the next.
All three working the bottom of the racetrack. They take identical lines out of turn 2 and into the back straightaway. Now cut it down low into turn number 3. Bouchard gets loose.
And Harry almost hit Bouchard when he got sideways.
And Bouchard saves the car. Almost a nasty incident, but everybody gets out of it unscathed.
Well, what a beautiful job Bouchard did saving that car.
There's an unhappy-looking Dick Brooks. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
It was a fine run while it lasted, Dick.
Well, you know, we ran well here in the spring, and we really enjoyed this. We got to lead some, and we got to run well, and that's a lot of fun when you get to do that. I tell you, when you're just ho-hum running, it's not much fun. But had a good time today. So proud to be here, and Junie and him had the car right, so maybe we can do it next time.
Any idea what did go wrong with the engine?
I didn't hear you.
Any idea what went wrong with the motors?
Well, we struck water someplace, either in the head or the cylinder wall. We did it a while back. It kept getting weaker and weaker, and then when we made it stop a while ago, there was smoked out the right side. So we knew we was in trouble. We were just having a good time doing what we were doing.
A lot of people say if this team ever had the equipment to do it, that they would run right up front. And Dick Brooks and his team proved that they were right today.
And we're under caution again.
Mike, it's raining over in the second turn.
This one, NASCAR weather radar tells us, doesn't look like it'll be as big a shower or intense a shower as the last rain delay. These poor race fans have gone through one wash cycle and one rinse cycle, and now they're left to drip dry. But we had a mishap a minute ago while we were under caution.
Bobby Allison's car, driven by Neil Bonnet, had made a pit stop to repair some sheet metal damage, and they were using a cutter, and some of the sparks ignited the gasoline on pit road, and you can see the fire's right underneath the car, and the crew's trying to get the car out of the fire. They do that. The fireman walks in, puts the fire out, and they go back to knocking the hood off.
They eventually do get it removed, and we get a green flag once again. We're back to racing. Dale Earnhardt is at the front of the field, ahead of Bill Elliott, Darrell Waltrip, and Richard Petty.
Bill Elliott's crew did a very good job that time, Mike, with his pit stop. They've got him up right at the head of the pack.
Dale Earnhardt is the leader as they come off the corner and down the back straightaway. Earnhardt, a brash, aggressive driver out of Kannapolis, North Carolina, drives for former racer Richard Childress out of Winston-Salem.
Elliott was really getting a good jump off that fourth corner of that. He's alongside Dale Earnhardt going down to turn 1.
Bill Elliott doesn't quite have the room, but he makes room at the bottom of the racetrack.
Boy, that was close. He's going to take Darrell Waltrip along with him. They're going to drop kick Earnhardt back to third place.
Waltrip moves inside to cover the spot, and Earnhardt drops back in the groove before Richard Petty can come up and challenge for third.
Elliott looks like he wants to drive away now. They probably made some adjustments. His car looks like it's getting better all the time.
Elliott in front, Waltrip, Earnhardt, Petty, Morgan Shepherd is fifth, Terry Labonte is sixth, and Harry Gant is seventh. Ron Bouchard has dropped from contention.
He had a right front tire go flat a moment ago down in turn 1, and he grazed the wall.
On pit road, Dick Berggren's talking with Ernie Elliott about this racetrack.
Anything can happen here, so you know, all we're trying to do is right now just a good consistent pace, not worry about whether anybody's quicker than we are, you know, and just try to wade through traffic, wait till it gets closer to the end of the race.
And that's Ernie Elliott, crew chief for his brother Bill.
Richard Petty's on pit road, and this would not be a scheduled pit stop.
It isn't a scheduled pit stop, and that blue smoke is telltale signs of trouble. And right away, the crew goes to the hood. They're raising it, and as we mentioned earlier, when you raise the hood during a race, it's usually big-time problems.
Now, the smoke from Dick Brooks' car was very whitish, looked more like a steam or a water smoke, but this is kind of blue.
And it's coming from underneath the hood where Dick Brooks was coming out the exhaust pipe.
So an oil smoking problem of some sort on Richard Petty's car.
The fellow's crawling underneath the car like they're trying to discover something there. And what has Bill Elliott done with the field? He's trying to drive away.
Bill Elliott moves away from Darrell Waltrip. And they'll put Richard Petty's car behind pit wall to try and continue to make repairs.
Well, one reason they do that, Mike, is it's very dangerous on pit road to be working on the car and crawling underneath it, so they get it off pit road away from danger.
Here's the third place battle. Terry Labonte leading Dale Earnhardt and Harry Gant. Gant dips low coming off the corner. Can't do anything with him this time around.
Dale Earnhardt just drove in there right in front of Harry Gant. Took that spot away from him. Harry's going to try it down the back straightaway, see if he has any better luck.
Gant racing for fourth. Underneath Dale Earnhardt, right behind him comes Neil Bonnet in that hoodless car of Bobby Allison. Bill Elliott, the runaway leader, while Richard Petty sits on pit road making repairs.
All set? A big puff of smoke and Richard Petty is behind pit wall. What is the problem with the motor, Richard?
You asking me what happened?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it broke a valve cover bolt, you know, on the head, and when it did, it popped the valve cover loose, and it's just throwing oil on the headers. But you know, can't run because too much smoke.
So that's a fixable problem.
Well, just one of them things.
Yeah. Richard Petty behind pit wall. They're going to try to fix it and get him back out again if they can.
Bill Elliott is making a shambles of this field. He has just run away and hid from Waltrip and everybody else chasing him.
He's really going right now. I saw the same movie a couple of weeks ago at Charlotte.
So as Elliott runs off uncontested, they'll be coming up on green flag pit stops. In fact, Dale Earnhardt is on pit road now.
Earnhardt is in. They have a pair of goggles ready for him, thinking that might be the problem. They're not sure exactly what it is. This is a serious problem to have lost your radio. They're trying to do the communication now that he's in. It is a green flag stop. The hood is up. They are working on the distributor end of the automobile. They first guessed that the problem might be water on the windshield, and they thought he needed different goggles. Now they've got a serious engine problem.
Bill Elliott, the leader, is coming down pit road. And Dale Earnhardt in the pits may cause him a problem. It may slow him down just a little bit on this pit stop. But he stops a long way from Earnhardt. He stops short so that Earnhardt would not be a problem. In fact,
nonetheless, the Elliott crew is ready, and they're fitting right side tires to the Coors Melling Thunderbird. 22 gallons of Union Racing gas. Come around to the left side. They won't change it. And as that jack drops, Elliott is off and away.
Good pit stop.
The rest of the leaders will be on pit road in a moment. Here comes Harry Gant down pit road. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
And here's Harry Gant. He's the last of the leaders to make his pit stop. This will for sure be a quick one. These guys want to get this thing done and get him out of there as fast as they possibly can. Gant going to do the same strategy as everybody else. The right side tires being changed and a fuel in it. And there goes Harry Gant. Good pit stop. 14 flat for service on the right side and a load of fuel.
Travis Carter, the crew chief on Harry's car, was down on his hands and knees looking at those left side tires. Number one, to make sure that they weren't blistered, had no problem. The second thing, he wanted to make sure he had enough rubber to go the rest of the way.
And Gant's crew gave him quick pit work. He is out of the pits in front of Bill Elliott. So Gant will assume the lead after making his pit stop. He's the last of the leaders to pit, and he'll maintain that lead by just 2 car lengths over Bill Elliott.
A great pit stop for Harry Gant because Bill Elliott was leading this race when he made his pit stop. Now Harry made his, he's in front. Great pit stop on the part of the Skull Bandit crew.
The problem on Dale Earnhardt's car is diagnosed as a broken distributor. Richard Childress' team will try to change that and get Dale back out into the race, but many laps down.
Well, you know, you got to keep chasing those points because Earnhardt is 5th or 6th in the Winston Cup standings, and every lap that he can make is possibly a position, and that's more points.
There are the 2 leaders. The third place car is well out of the picture.
Darrell Waltrip is Harry Gant and Bill Elliott just decimated the field there, driving away.
Out of turn 4, back to start finish. A lot of lap traffic ahead. There's Morgan Shepherd 1 lap down, having a very competitive run this afternoon in the Levi Garrett Chevrolet. But the third place car is almost a straightaway behind. There is Waltrip going into turn number 1. He'll round out of turn 2 as the leaders pull into turn 3. It's ironic, Benny. For several years, Harry Gant had the nickname of Mr. Second Place, or the perennial bridesmaid. And lately, up until the Charlotte race, that mantle had fallen on Bill Elliott.
It did. It went from Harry Gant directly to Bill Elliott. But right now, both of them are pretty consistent winners.
Gant's won 2 races in September, Darlington and Dover, while Elliott won the first race in October at Charlotte.
So both of them are on a hot streak right now, Mike.
They'll be headed for the finish line when we come back. While we were away, Bill Elliott took the lead from Harry Gant, but Benny Parsons, I don't see where either car has a clear advantage.
Neither car has an advantage, Mike. It's very, very close. Harry Gant, Bill Elliott did take the lead, but Harry Gant is hanging right on his rear bumper. It's going to be very, very tight right down to the end, it looks like.
They have left the third and fourth place cars well behind. Terry Labonte, the Piedmont Airlines car, is now in third, and Darrell Waltrip's Budweiser Chevrolet runs fourth. They're both still on the lead lap, but well back of Elliott and Gant.
The flagman has given him 10 laps to go. Just 10 laps to go now.
Elliott has about 3 car lengths on Harry Gant as they move up to put another lap on Tim Richmond.
Looks like Harry Gant really has his work cut out for him. You know, 3-4 car lengths isn't that much, but the way Elliott's been running the last few laps.
Labonte and Waltrip hardly a factor anymore with 9 laps to go. Elliott heads Gant off in the corner, and now Elliott's starting to slip up the racetrack a little.
You know, something that might be causing a problem right now, Mike, is those cars are driving into the west, and the sun is sitting going in turn 1, and they're driving straight into that bright sun. It's a possibility Bill Elliott is having some visibility problems down in turn 1. And you say, well, why wouldn't Harry Gant have the same problems? Well, he has had Bill Elliott's car to go by. He's following Elliott's car down the turn, and he's using his car as the judge to where to back off the accelerator.
Out of turn 4, lapping by Buddy Arrington and Ron Bouchard. It'll be 7 laps to go. 7 miles out of 500 to decide this race among 2 drivers.
Harry Gant still isn't picking anything up. It's still 5-6 car lengths.
Elliott looking for his 3rd victory of the season, the 4th of his Grand National career. And both drivers looking for the Winston Cup championship. Elliott is 3rd in the points. Gant the runner-up to Terry Labonte, who is right now 3rd in this race.
I think traffic's going to be the key. How Bill Elliott catches the traffic as this race wears down in its final laps is really going to be the key as to whether or not Harry Gant can catch it.
Back straightaway, and Gant does not appear to be closing. Elliott's gap remains constant at about 4 car lengths. This will be 5 laps to go this time by.
He's running out of time.
Down to turn 1. Gant went into the turn hard and slipped up the racetrack.
Slid up the racetrack, and that cost him a car length or 2.
Or did it? In the back straightaway, he looks like he's gained a little ground.
He does look like he's a little closer. He definitely looks like he's closer now going in turn 3.
3 car lengths of deficit. Gant is closing in with 4 laps to go off turn number 4. Gant has cut Elliott's lead now almost in half.
It is so close. Oh, this is exciting.
3 car lengths now. Elliott's 4, Gant Chevrolet. Back to turn 3.
Yeah, I know both these guys very well, and it's, you know, I don't really care who wins, Harry or Bill, but you know, you got to feel for both of them, because both of them have did the job that both of them have done today have been super, and both of them really deserve to win this race.
2.5 laps to go, and Gant is there.
He is on the back bumper.
The 2 drivers who have become synonymous with second place.
Bill Elliott got sideways coming off the corner.
And only one of them can finish second today. 2 laps to go. Gant draws a bead on the back bumper of Elliott's Ford. Out of turn 2, back straightaway. Here goes Gant. He makes his move to the inside.
I think he's got him.
Harry Gant dives into turn 3. He's got the lead. No, here comes Elliott right back at him, and they touch.
Get together.
Out of turn 4, they almost hit again, coming off the corner. White flag. Last lap
to go.
And that would have been a photo finish. It's Gant in front. No, it's Elliott coming back at him on the inside.
Yes, got the run in down the back straightaway. It looks like Harry's got it.
Gant uses all that power and takes the car into turn 3. He leaves half a lane for Elliott on the bottom of the racetrack. Out of turn 4. Elliott's got the room, and he's coming, and he beats Gant to the line.
I don't believe that, Mike. I don't believe that.
And I don't think Harry Gant believed it either.
What a great, great move. Harry Gant moved up the racetrack just a little bit, but how in the world that Ford was able to beat that Chevrolet down that straightaway?
Right there, Gant looks like he's got the race won.
He does. I don't see how in the world that Ford was able to do that.
See if he loses traction coming off turn 4, because Elliott just keeps on digging. But Gant is right there. He's got traction. His foot's in the throttle. And Elliott just edges up.
Oh, 2 feet.
That's all. 2 feet.
Tell us about that last lap, Bill.
Well, I knew Gant was coming on. It looked like he had a little bit more off a corner on me. And he went up high, and I just drove it on, and the old car just ran on up off the corner. You know, all the guys worked good in the pits. The motor ran good, and the car worked super.
The last few laps, you were in traffic most of the way. Did you expect this was going to happen, or did you think you were going to get beaten at the end?
Well, I really didn't know. I knew Gant, when I was in traffic, Gant was a little bit stronger than I was, but when we were strung out, I was a little bit stronger than he was. And I knew when we got to the traffic, it was going to have to be, I was going to use a little bit of strategy on him to ever get by him. But yet, what he did, I didn't know if I could ever get back under him down there or not, and I was just lucky to do it.
A year ago today, you were looking for your first win. Did you expect the success that you've had so far this season?
Lord, no. It's been a super year.
Bill Elliott, a very happy winner here in Victory Lane at Rockingham.
And for the second time in 2 weeks, and the 19th time in his career, Harry Gant is in second place.
But this time, Mike, by the slimmest of margins. None of these second places have been this close. 2 feet.
That's how close it was. Well, the only thing left here at Rockingham are the empty soda and beer cans and the memories. What was the reaction on pit road, Dick Berggren, to that finish?
Astonishment, enthusiasm, and joy. Bill Elliott has become such a popular racer in just such a short period of time, but I think hardly anybody could believe that he did wind up beating Harry Gant across the line, Mike.
Benny, living just 12 miles down the road, and you've seen just about every race here. If you haven't been in one, have you ever seen a finish like this here?
Well, I know that a couple, 3 years ago, there was one about like this in which Richard Petty beat Bill Elliott. But today, and I remember Bill Elliott being how down he was after that defeat at the hands of Richard Petty. Today, he probably made up for all that because it was a super, super finish.
All right. Well, Benny, if you'll get the cooler, we can head on out of here and out in the parking lot and fight traffic. For Dick Berggren and Benny Parsons, this is Mike Joy congratulating Bill Elliott on his Hodgdon American 500 victory.